Hey guys, this is the Smooth Spy, and I want to talk to you now about why the 8th gen consoles are in a bit of trouble. Now, a lot of you may think, what are you talking about? The 8th gen consoles just came out, released in 2013. We've got amazing games like Uncharted 4, Halo 5, Fallout 4 coming out. What seems to be the problem? They're selling well, both. Things are going well, right? Well, yes, for now. But the problem doesn't lie in the present. I mean, it doesn't a little bit, but really the problem lies in its future. Now, when I say 8th gen, I'm not talking about the Wii U. That is in a whole of the ballpark, not for this video. What I'm talking about is the Xbox One and the PlayStation 3. Now, the reason these consoles are going to have some issues is one word: underpowered. When these consoles released, they were extremely underpowered in comparison to what they should have been. When the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out, they were equivalent to a low-end to mid-gaming PC, and that's just not acceptable, considering these boxes are meant to last as long as they are. In comparison, the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 were high-end when they came out. They were top dollar consoles, and that's why they cost so much. And like, for example, the PlayStation 3 came out $600. Yeah, that's the reason. It also had a lot of new technology built into it. It wasn't old whatsoever. They were all were in awe of how much power was in these consoles. So it had the horsepower and the legs to grow into itself and last as long as it has, because the Xbox 360 was released in 2005 and the PS3 in 2006, but both in the fall. That's a long time these consoles have been around. Almost 10 years now on the Xbox 360 that it's been around. That's insane. Now, both Sony and Microsoft have said that they want the current gen, the 8th gen consoles to last as long as the last gen. Why? Because they don't make cash when they sell consoles. They often lose cash each time they sell consoles, because the way they make their cash is by selling services like Xbox Live, or you have your PlayStation Plus, and also selling games, microtransactions, add-ons, all that kind of stuff. That's how they make the money. So they want to get a large enough of a base to own their systems so they can sell more. But the issue being that these consoles just aren't that powerful. How are they supposed to last all this time? Games that are releasing now only 2 years after the console have been out are still unable to hit 1080p 60 FPS on games that should. They have to make compromises. You hear it all the time about this game or that game can't hit 1080p or a certain frame rate. And some people they don't care, but I'm sorry, but when it comes to next gen, this shouldn't be an issue. This should be, when they came out, it should have been 1080p 60 FPS regardless, perhaps even something higher up, but it wasn't. I mean, this is ridiculous. You have games like Star Wars Battlefront coming out on Xbox One at 720p. 720p. Come on! This is ridiculous, guys. I mean, when they switched from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3, there was a huge jump in how games looked and what they could do. You're not seeing all that much when it comes to this. What happens, say, when 5 years down the line? Are they still going to be with the same hardware? I mean, it's not going to magically get more and more advanced, like, as the years go on. Like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, they were relatively tough and had a bit of a learning curve because they were top of the line when they released. So a whole bunch of the developers had to learn how to optimize it and take full advantage of the hardware. And that's why you saw a lot of games as they came out the years. They really stepped it up. Like you look at some of the first Xbox 360 games compared to like Halo 4 or Grand Theft Auto 5. It's amazing what they've done. But that's because it was high-end hardware at the time, and it was a relatively tough thing to learn how to develop for. But the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are both built on the x86 architecture, and that is relatively easy to code for. I mean, they've already gotten where they're maxing out what all they can do. I mean, sure, they'll learn a few optimization tips here and there, but you're not going to see ground-changing games in comparison to what we're already seeing. It's not going to magically turn into the next Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it's just not. I mean, you have companies who are like squeezing all the energy out just to hit 1080p on some games. What happens when games get more and more advanced as years go on? I mean, to last 10 years like the Xbox 360 has coming up this fall is a long time. So, what exactly is going to happen? So as the years go on, the consoles are going to really start to show their age. They're not going to age as well as the last gen consoles, as we talked about. So, what's going to happen? Well, there are two things that really can happen. One is that Sony and Microsoft will come up with a new console much sooner than they would like, and then you'll have to go buy a whole new console and yeah, to be able to play all the newer games. But there's a couple of reasons why this would be cool and why this wouldn't be cool. First off, they would be able to enable backwards compatibility relatively easily. Just make sure it's on the x86 architecture for when they make them, and then voila, all the games will be backwards compatible for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, you know, for whichever one you have on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox, whatever it's going to be. That's cool, and that's going to help because a lot of people care about that type of stuff, and that's a really good thing. On the other side, though, consumers don't want to buy a new box so soon. One of the appeals of consoles is being able to buy a box and know, like, if you're going to be set to play any game you want that comes out on it for the next, like, 8 to 10 years. You'll be set. You don't have to go buy anything new. That's why some people don't like to play on the PC, because they don't have to upgrade. That's a whole other topic, though. But so you're really going to want to, in, say, another 2 to 3 years, fork over another $500 for a new box? I mean, a lot of consumers aren't going to do that. Still having issues getting some consumers to jump ship onto the new consoles. They're still on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. Yeah, even though they're being sold more and more onto the new ones, you're still having issues with those hanging on to old stuff because they don't want to upgrade, which is understandable. But the other thing is, as I've said before, Sony and Microsoft, they don't want to go to a new console because for them, that's more money they have to lose because they don't gain cash from selling consoles. It's not like iPhones where they make a whole bunch when they sell them because they have a markup on how much it actually costs. For them, they lose cash because they want to get them into as many hands as they can so they can sell their services and the games on it. Plus, there's research and development costs to get the consoles made and have them tested and have them shipped and marketing. It's a lot of money. They're not going to want to do that until they really have to. And so now we ask, what's the other option? Well, it'll just be they will last 10 years and games will be so held back by them. They are going to be like, it's gonna get ugly. I mean, because right now the average gaming computer is as powerful as these consoles. Right now, I mean, another year we have new cards. You have NVIDIA's Pascal cards coming out with HBM supposedly going to be on them, like the real HBM 2, not like on AMD's cards. You have that coming out. You have DirectX 12. It's going to really optimize multi-core CPUs on the PCs. You have all this stuff just coming around the corner, and each year it's going to get more and more, and then it's going to get less expensive, and it's going to be so easy to play games in a few years on 4K, like on one card. I'm serious. And then you have consoles not able to hit 1080p, and they're going to be like that for the next, 5 years. Because yeah, it could be another 5 years before we see the start of PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Fido, whatever it would be. So that's some serious issues right there, and I really don't see how they're going to do it. I mean, besides coming out with a new console, which, yeah, that would be what you'd have to do. But that means Sony have to spend a whole bunch of money. Everybody who wants to get all the latest games, they'd have to go and buy a whole new box. It's going to be interesting. And that's why the 8th gen consoles are really in kind of a jam. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, how long these things will last and how long gamers are willing to stick with the same hardware for all these years and not see any advancement. This is a Smooth Spy. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave your comments down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, all the good stuff. Subscribe, you can hear more from me. And thanks for watching. Take care.